Hi House Beautiful, I'm Amy Hemmings-Batt, founder of Coco Wolf. Welcome to my home. We moved here just over 7 years ago. I live here in Somerset with my husband and my 2 children and our cat, Bang Bang. The house is quite unusual in as much as there's a Victorian cottage end and then a newer extension. So we were really conscious of keeping the house true to its original character, but making sure that it tied together beautifully and felt like one big family home. I think of the house as a whole and the journey through the house. I make sure that each room functions and is enjoyable in its own entity, but also I like to curate little moments around the house that just bring me joy when I walk around. When we come to decorate for Christmas, it's very much a family affair. There is no specific colour palette because what I like to do is inject newness into it each year and to build on what we've got. And then to tie in the other colours of the room, which we've got pinks and greens, but then to keep it Christmassy, we always add a touch of gold. If I could describe my Christmas style in 3 words, it would be eclectic, considered and gaudy. Last year we started a new tradition as a family and had 2 Christmas trees so that we could have a more formal Christmas tree in the playroom and then the children could go to town on the Christmas tree in the sitting room. I don't really believe in buying to trend. Our tradition is unpacking all of the Christmas decorations and talking about where they've come from each year and then how we can layer on top of that and make it feel newer for this Christmas. So this year we had the addition of the paper chains, which we loved making all together as a family. I like to start my Christmas shopping in September and October to give me plenty of time to give the gifts a lot of thought. This is the sitting room. It's the first room that we renovated. We knew that we wanted to do this room first because we wanted to have somewhere that was comfortable to sit down in at the end of the day, knowing that the renovation process can be really hard work and take a long time. The first thing that we did in this room was to take down the artificial beams from the ceiling and to remove the gas fire and replace it with a wood burner. Because it was a north-facing room, we originally had this room decorated in a really dark, deep blue, which made the room feel really, really cosy and lovely to sit in the winter. However, as we've spent more time in the house, and in this room particularly, we wanted to enjoy it more throughout the year and during the day. So we've gone from a dark, deep, rich Hague blue to a much brighter, lighter, orange-coloured white from Farrow & Ball, which has given the room a new lease of life. The fabric choices that we have in this room, we've gone for a classic Liberty print, William Morris print called Strawberry Thief. We've got curtains, cushions, cat bed, all in the same fabric to really tie the room together. The furniture in this room are inherited family heirlooms, which we're really lucky to have. So the coffee table was my grandmother's, the armchair was my grandfather's, the sideboard was my great-grandparents', even one of the cushions was a needlepoint that my great-grandmother did. So within this room we wanted to create a gallery wall of interest, and obviously I'm really big into bows this year, so wherever I can hang a bow, you'll find a bow. The only input I have into decorating this tree is by putting the fairy on the top of the tree. The rest is left up to my husband and the children. That each year we buy the children a bauble each that represents something important that's happened to them over the previous year. So my son's decoration this year is the Rubik's Cube because his goal this year has been to be able to master the Rubik's Cube. Last year his decoration was the table tennis paddles because he started playing table tennis to a much higher level. And then my daughter always likes to think she's the favourite child, but she's our favourite daughter. This is our dining area, part of an extension really of the kitchen. And when we first bought the house, the wall came right across the space with just a tiny window that looked out up onto concrete steps. There were 5 external doors, but none that fed from the kitchen to the garden. And we knew that we wanted to open up the space and create this outside-inside living. When we installed the Crittle windows and doors, the room was flooded with natural light. It feels like we eat every meal outside. In the summer and the warmer months, we live with the doors always open. We've got an outside pizza oven and lots of outside seating, so this really is an interchangeable space. For the Christmas table this year, we've got the bow napkin rings and the oversized chair bows. The cutlery that we have is another heirloom that I inherited from my great-grandparents, which comes out every Christmas. And then from my travels around the world, I've collected this dinner service, which again, we only use at Christmas. For the place setting, I always choose the print first and then pick out a couple of highlight colours. So this year I've gone for the pale pink and then the gold, which tends to be a theme that I've then got running through the table and the rest of the decorations in the house. I started collecting this collaboration project that Waterford did with Marc Jacobs. I used to travel to America really quite often with work, and each trip I would come home with a different part of the collab. So I started with the dinner plates. The glasses are a new addition this year that I found at a local flea market, but they work beautifully with the glasses that have the same floral print as the ceramics. So it really is a collection of tableware that I have built on over the years. But sadly, it isn't made anymore, which makes it even more precious because I don't want to break any of it. When it comes to choosing the tablescape for Christmas, I love mixing prints and pulling out the colours like I've done in the napkins. I will either have placemats and a bare table or a tablecloth and then the napkins. But this year I decided to go for plain seat cushions, placemats with no tablecloth, but in order to bring more to the Christmas table, I tasked one of the ladies at work with making me oversized chair bows to pull the whole look together. So this is the cabinet of curiosities, which houses essentially the children's egg cup collection. They get every year an egg cup. They used to be housed on the other shelf in the kitchen, but as the collection has grown, it quickly became apparent that we needed somewhere to pull them all together. We do also use all of the egg cups. The children always have 2 dippy eggs at a time, so they love choosing which 2 egg cups they're going to have for their dippy egg meal. This year we've gone for pinwheels over the island. Last year we had hanging candles, and they really created a point of interest as you walked into the kitchen. The pinwheels really create a moment over the island, and the paper chains create the moment over the table. However, the colour palette within these really tie the 2 spaces together. So this is the playroom, essentially the children's sitting room. It was really important for me because you can see this room as soon as you walk in the front door. This is the room in the house that has gone through the most transformation since we've lived here, because the space has evolved as the children have grown. My youngest child was 1 when we moved into this house, and this room was the playroom, the room where he would come and play and all of their toys were stored. And then as they've grown up and their play has changed, this room has also changed too. It's taken 7 years to get to the point where we are now, where we feel like we needed a second living space, a space for the children to hang out in. This is the room that we come together as a family in to play board games. It does have a television in it, but we've cleverly hidden that away behind some beautiful cabinet doors. The colour of this room is Farrow & Ball's Borrowed Light. I chose this tone of blue because of the north-facing aspect in this room. The way that the light bounces around, it can feel grey and warm, which was really important for us. The settees and chairs were a really fantastic find that I bought from somebody in the village. They are original Urkel and they work beautifully in the room. The colour, it was meant to be when I saw them advertised. They're really comfortable to sit on, and I think they add a really lovely mid-century touch to the space. So this is my tree, the second tree that we have at home, and I've decorated it this year using offcuts of fabric, turning them into bows and just tying them on the ends of the branches. I feel like it's a really clean look, set back against the shelves where there's lots of things going on. This is the children's advent tree, and my brother actually made this tree using offcuts of wood that he had, and then I made all of the bags and appliqued on the numbers and fill them each year for the children. We're now in the main bedroom. This is a room that again has evolved as we've spent time in the space. It took us a long time to decide the orientation of the bed within the room because of the room being double aspect. We spent a lot of time with the bed in the middle of the room so that we could really work out the best place for the bed to go. We wanted to make the most of the views out of the window and also feel like we were sleeping in a cozy space. Within this room, the curtains are quite prominent in order to enable me to mix in different prints. In order to tie the whole palette together, the curtain fabric is also repeated on the skirt of the bed and then also as the backing of the wardrobe. I really love the colour mustard and the richness that it has, and it goes with so many different print combinations. On the silk pillowcases, we've pulled out this same print on the ruffle of the bedspread and also on the reverse. Due to my background in the fashion industry, I have quite an extensive collection of clothing, and we knew that we needed to incorporate a decent amount of wardrobes within this space without making it feel like we were sleeping in a dressing room, because ultimately this room is the place that we come to relax. Another piece of furniture I inherited was the tall boy chest of drawers unit, and that was integral into deciding what else to put in the space. This was a lucky eBay find, a 1930s dressing table that has the perfect amount of storage and functionality. Growing up as a child, I always wanted a dressing table in my room, and I always felt so lucky when I found this and now use it every single day to get ready. And my daughter loves it too. She can't wait to get her own one. What has been important for me when decorating the house is the feeling of each room having their own space. And as you walk down the landing, which is a rich green colour, you then move into the main bedroom area. We've colour drenched in a warm blue to make it feel calm and elevated, and then to highlight certain aspects of the Victorian design, added the wallpaper border around the woodwork. This is the guest bedroom, and this room is in the old part of the house and again north facing. So we've painted it this really beautiful pale green, Teresa green by Farrow & Ball, because we wanted it to feel like we were bringing the outside inside into what can be quite a dark space. The bedding picks out the colour of the walls and also the pink of the curtains. The bedding on this bed is a print called Betsy. It's one of the iconic Liberty prints, and it's a Coco Wolf exclusive colourway that we developed with Liberty Fabrics. So we've had it printed on the cotton and on the silk. We have drenched the bed in the same print to give the bed a look of like grandeur. We have pulled in on the lumbar cushions, the square pillows, and then the decorative frill on the top pillows too, just to give an all-over maximalist look. The artwork above the bed is done by my father, who is a hobbyist painter. It's a French landscape painting, and he just loves the colours and textures within the French landscapes. And then the other piece of artwork in this room is a sampler that my mother did for me when I was born, and it's really quite special. I always make sure that I leave a little gift for the guests that we have to stay. This year for Christmas, the gifts are going to be eye masks, and I always leave a pillow spray by the side of the bed too. I hope you've enjoyed having a look around my home. Thank you for watching. Wishing you all a very Merry Christmas.